Hi, Linda. How are you?
I'm good. You can hear me okay?
Yes, I can hear you.
Perfect. So I'm so excited to be here. Thank you so much for
Yeah,
doing this.
me too. Also, because this week we have the launch of the new book. So we are here just cannot wait for Wednesday. So January 22nd is the official date for us to the new book, 25 Tools for Life, which Linda, it's one of the authors. We've been doing this series of interviews. We have 25 authors and 25 tools for life as well. And there, you guys are sharing your life experiences through your work, through your journey as a healer and as a person as well, right? And also every chapter at the end of the story, we have one too you're sharing with us. That's something very powerful. Some of them are simple, which I love it because you can put on your daily basis and having a profound difference. So, Linda, thank you once again for staying with us. And I would like you to introduce you to our audience. And then through our interview, we're going to dive in a little bit into your chapter to share to people that will be able to see and read the book by Wednesday.
Sure, absolutely. Thank you so much. Um, so my name is Linda Dieffenbach. I'm the owner of Wellness and Harmony, and I am a personal transformation coach and healing arts practitioner and teacher. And I primarily through my work, I help women reclaim their power and reconnect with their lost selves that they often become disconnected from through trauma and toxic conditioning and chronic stress and challenges that they experience throughout life, so that they can really, hi Anna, um, so that they can step into their wholeness and step into their power and really shine their light in the world.
Amazing. And also your work is also related to the stress management,
Mm-hmm.
financial wellness, like the employee this program, whether we know for women sometimes that could be very heavy through all the journey we've been discussing here as well. How women nowadays they're so stressful when they have like a lot of their plates organized to put on their like routine. And it's interesting because you go through this process as well to support them. Maybe sometimes say, no, I cannot do this. I am enough for me.
Um, yeah, I think that women really have, as you said, they have a lot on their plates, and there's a tremendous amount of stress. We're often given a lot of responsibilities, but we also have a tendency to take on a lot of responsibilities that we assume are our own. And so that can create a tremendous amount of stress and challenge and lead to a lot of self-criticism, tendency to not feel like we're able to be successful in various ways in our life because we overburden ourselves, and we can set aside our own needs and our own self-care um, in lieu of everybody else's needs. So there's a lot of layers to that for sure.
And also in your specialities, in your work, you also have a program with equity, diversity, inclusion, which brings us also to this discussion of gender. How do you approach this kind of context that nowadays is so important? We've been talking about diversity so long, and also have here in the Wellness Universe to try to bring people from different perspectives, different contexts, so then can support people and discuss this context, which is really important. At the same time, we see like sometimes it's negligent, or even just, oh, we're gonna do this right now because it's trending, right? Talking about diversity. How do you approach this discussion as well?
So it's interesting because I don't have like a specific program related to diversity, but of course that's something that comes very much into the work that I do with people, because I work with people from a lot of different backgrounds, a lot of different experiences, um, including, um, you know, different racial communities and LGBT community, and a lot of through the work that I do in supporting them personally, a lot of the focus is helping them come into owning their voice, owning their power, being able to uh, navigate their way through a world that doesn't always accept who they are.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's very important. So, and you also like use your hands, right, as a healer.
Hmm.
We have some beautiful photos of your profile, the Wellness Universe. And can you explain more how do you do this? How you use your hands? Like I know you have Reiki, right?
Yeah, so Reiki is one of the modalities that I practice, which I love. It's a wonderfully gentle, hands-on healing practice where it's done on a massage table, and I just place my hands at different points along the person's body, and it helps people to go into a state of deep relaxation. It activates the parasympathetic nervous system, so it takes us out of fight, flight, freeze mode, out of hyper stress mode, and allows our body to go into that rest and restore mode where it can do what it does best, which is to repair and restore itself. And that's certainly an integral part of the work that I do, in addition to the coaching work that I do, and sometimes combine those together because you do the active conscious work of exploring and discussing and getting familiar, recognizing challenges and difficulties and underlying causes of those things and unraveling those, but then getting the gentle, nurturing support of Reiki really adds a different layer to the support that's available to the people that I work with. And um, it is amazing to see how um, how profound the impact that that work can do. I work with people who are living with cancer and other significant health problems, and being able to help them find relief from pain where they may not be able to find that from other sources is a wonderful gift to be able to offer someone.
Amazing. I'm a big fan of Reiki. You know, in Brazil, the public system for health system, they already put the Reiki in their process as well to
That's amazing.
treat people. Yeah. It's something that right now goes beyond because we know that there is a little bit of prejudice when it comes to the medicine in tech in when it comes like practices like healing and holistic therapy, but we know that we have like so many science through that and how people, especially with their testimonial, right, like this you're saying, you see the results when with your clients. We see with people that are surround us. We see like people can use it and feel like the difference in their lives, as you're saying, that not just this relaxed state, but also I mean it, like it can be magical if you are able, if
Mm-hmm.
you're like open to receive it. It's amazing how it can change, like you can sleep better, you can recover, for instance, if you have having a cramp for your period
Mm-hmm.
time as a woman, or whenever going like having a sore throat, anything can be healed through Reiki. So it's amazing that you do this. And also online as well, people can really receive it as it's an
Mm-hmm.
energy, right? You can send to them whatever they are.
Yeah. Yeah, you can certainly receive Reiki via distance healing, which is a wonderful gift to have. I use that with friends and family a lot when they're going through difficulties, whether it's physical challenges or emotional challenges or life upsets. And, they really do report how powerful it has been for them to help feel that support coming in when they're going through losses or they're dealing with, uh, challenging legal situations or serious medical conditions. Or I also help animals, and oftentimes being able to work with animals via distance is more conducive, depending on what's going on with the animal and where they are, than actually going to them and working hands on. Um, and I do love, to what you were first saying, with it being more actively involved in the system in Brazil. Like, I'm really excited to see it becoming more prevalent within the medical community in the United States. So cancer centers are using it, hospitals are using it. Um, practitioners or practitioners starting to come into the medical community and provide it for people and introduce it to people, and they're finding tremendous results. They're finding, like surgeons and physicians are really starting to embrace it because they're finding that they're having better outcomes through using Reiki as part of the treatment um, uh, program that they're providing for their patients. And I think that's amazing. It's so exciting to witness that.
Yeah, that's so amazing. So going up more about your chapter in this book, 25 Tools for Life, can you give us a little bit of your spoilers? What's the story you share with us?
So I share. a story about my personal healing journey, focusing in on more of my childhood journey,
Mm-hmm.
and using one of the tools that was really transformational for me and helped me come into a space of deep compassion and love for myself and for the wounded parts of myself. And the parts of myself that for a long period of time I had rejected and judged very harshly. And through this practice,
Oh, yeah, I got mute.
my relationship with myself and my younger self, and um, heal through a lot of the trauma that I had endured as a child. And that brought some amazingly powerful shifts for me in my adult life. So that's what I wanted to share with everybody as my tool.
Wow. And what's the tool specifically go into this tool?
Yeah, yeah. It's inner child healing.
Mm-hmm.
And I walk you through a step-by-step process that you can use to reconnect with the younger parts of yourself that are feeling disconnected, that are still carrying pain and
Mm-hmm.
the wounds from childhood, that are carrying the um, strategic strategies that can be a little disruptive in our adult life. The survival strategies and patterns that we picked up as children to survive our trauma. Helping to reconnect with that part of ourselves and help them. It's reparenting in a sense. You're witnessing them, you're validating them, you're validating the experiences and the truth that they hold. And through that, you're allowing those fixed parts of yourself to actually start to heal and integrate. Um, and you mentioned earlier about the simple tools, and this is a little bit of both. Like there's some depth and complexity into learning it, but it also, what I found since I've been practicing this, is it's also can be tied into a tool that you can, once you know how to do it, you can tap into to this part of yourself and send love to yourself, very quickly and easily when you're feeling yourself triggered, when you're feeling judgment towards yourself, or when you're feeling overwhelmed with life. Just being able to tune into your heart and say, I love you. I'm here with you. You matter to me.
I love it. Yeah, and that's although you're saying it make us stay in the state of presence, right? Like I'm in the present, I'm here and now, I'm acknowledging my emotions and where this is coming from. Sometimes when I going through a hard moment, I always try to connect with my inner child, as you're saying,
Mm-hmm.
say, Claudia, how old are you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, 7 years old. Who are talking to you? Is mom or dad?
Mm-hmm.
Because when, especially when I try to boycott myself, like, oh, I'm not good enough and do this, and it's like,
Yeah.
girl, I know you and I know you're capable to do it. I know you deeply. Who are talking to you right now? And maybe it was something that I heard when I was like 7 years old, and my
Right.
dad told me like, oh, you're not good at this.
Right.
I mean, he didn't mean it, or he was busy with something that was going on his head, because back then we don't have this kind of knowledge, right? It was like just trying to be quiet. And with for the child, our mom and dad, they are like goddess, right? Like they're God and goddess. Like they're everything they say. It's like yes, it is a sentence. So we take this as a truth, and you keep this on our life. And sometimes when you're facing something that we are supposed to get an amazing outcome, we just freeze because we come to our the child, and then was like, no, I cannot do that. So you have to be to acknowledge that is, as you're saying, like right now I'm parenting myself, like I care my inner child forever. Some authors, we know that psychologists, they call our subconscious, and
Mm-hmm.
then like and goes also to our inner child. But the truth is we're gonna care this child forever, and you have to take care of them. And as you're saying, sometimes it's just a matter for us to talk to them
Yeah.
in a very kind way, so they feel like, no, yeah, I can do this,
Yeah.
I can make it happen, and then eventually have fun, and then guess what, you're doing something that you thought that you were incapable to do it.
Yeah.
So I think this is something that you have to do every single day, like caring, taking care. Like I have a niece right now, she's about to complete 3 years,
Mm-hmm.
and sometimes I feel like, oh, I would never do such a thing with her, or would be
Mhm.
pissed if someone treat her in that way. And why you treat us like this? Why sometimes you're so hard with ourselves,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah, and we're as you said, we're conditioned that way. We get all of these messages from, even the most well-intentioned parents, um, from society. They're telling us all these reasons that we're not good enough, that it's not okay to do certain things, it's not okay to be who we are, it's not okay to express ourselves, and that has a profound impact on us. And as kids, we absorb that. We take that in
Like a
as truth.
sponge,
We don't,
right?
yeah, we're so concrete. We don't know how to discern between, is that truth or not, or is that, something separate from ourselves, or is that their issues? We don't get that as children. So we take it in and we own it. And then we have to figure out how to survive with that energy. So if everybody's telling me that I can't have a voice, then my strategy for fitting in is to silence myself, to repress myself, and that's painful. So coming and coming back to that child as an adult, and that fixed energy within us, and being able to give ourselves the compassion that we didn't get, the recognition that we didn't get, and to say, you know what, your voice is amazing and we want to hear your voice. You're allowed to have a voice. You're allowed to express who you are. That shifts and unravels that energy that gets stuck in our body. So it liberates us. It is so powerfully freeing. And um, it's one of my favorite tools, which is why I put it in the book. It's like, thinking of all the things I could write about, like this one has been so transformational for me. And it's been so transformational for so many of my clients. Um, and it is often very deep, very tender work. But as you mentioned also, it can be play. It can be fun. It can be creative energy. Taking your little girl out to play is so much fun. Like, something you loved to do as a kid was finger paint, then getting out and finger painting, or playing in a sandbox, or, getting on a swing set. Like, all of that is also very healing to the inner child.
Yeah. One thing I like to do as well, like I love to have a picture of myself when I was like 8 years old,
Mm-hmm.
and also like a toy that make me connect with my inner child, like a toy that I love to play with. It was like a radio, and I was like always singing with my microphone. Of course, I would be a journalist, always holding a microphone. And then was that made me connect. And then like, no, this is fun. Let's have fun. I feel like whenever you're having excitement, things happen faster for your life. How do you
Oh,
feel
yeah.
about this?
Absolutely. When you're in joy, like that's such a powerful, attractive, and liberating and freeing energy. So when you're in that space of joy and excitement and just having fun, it just opens up so much possibility, which is another reason why being able to um, reconnect with those repressed parts of ourselves where we got contracted and we hid our joy, or we disconnected from our creative energies and disconnected from the things that we were maybe too old to do anymore. Like Anna just said, she loves to swing in the park. I love swing on the swing set. Like, it's just amazing. It was always my thing as a little girl, and I love doing it now. But when we connect with that vibrant energy, it just opens us up to life.
Amazing. And but let's take like we are here at the Wellness Universe profile, but let's think that someone that is joining us not just live, but then gonna watch this later, and they never ever thought about it. It's the first time they were thinking about inner child. How do you approach them to acknowledge their in a simple way so that they can start their journey through not just through the tool you're sharing in the book, but also for the beginnings, like for their I'm hearing this for the first time. How we would explain to them what is this inner child connection, and how this is powerful for them to acknowledge their on issues they're going through, their emotions and everything.
So the inner child is essentially it's a fixed energy. from when we experience certain, it's not even just traumatic events, but there's certain ways that we're conditioned, certain messages that we receive from family, from schools, from spiritual institutions that tell us who we should be and how we should be and what's allowed and not allowed. And through that process, certain parts of ourselves become repressed, or they get fixed, because we're not really allowed to be, to express certain things. But also, when we experience traumatic events, the energy of those events, we don't know how to process them. They get stuck in our body. And so here's a good way to explain this, actually, just from a felt experience. Have you ever, as an adult, you're going through life, you're feeling, normal, confident, whatever, and then you get in front of a family member or a certain person of authority, or a certain person with a certain kind of energy, and then all of a sudden you feel like you're 5 years old. You feel small, you feel powerless, you feel, like you've just lost your sense of being an adult. Like, that's the expression. That's an example of how you might recognize that there's an inner child there. So when we recognize that there's these smaller parts of ourselves, like essentially the child, as we experience certain things, so say we experience a traumatic or difficult, challenging incident, we don't have anybody around us to explain things to us, so we make sense of it from the mindset of a child. So making sense of your parents having a fight or your mom not feeling well, as a child you might figure that it's your fault, you did something wrong, you're somehow responsible for this. Or you might take on responsibility for caretaking a member of the family because you feel like that's your job. So you figure out strategies to navigate the life you're in. So the child will figure out how to survive in whatever situation's in front of them. And without resources, parents kind of coaching them through, the strategies that they come up with are often their survival strategies. They're maybe effective in some way to navigate what's happening right now. But as they get older, they keep using the same tool over and over again, but it no longer works. So an example would be people pleasing. If you're always caretaking, and giving your power to other people, or having patterns of self-sabotage where you're, the adult self is wanting to do or accomplish certain things, and you seem to just constantly get in your own way. What you probably have here is a little boy or little girl inside of you that's going, that's not safe. We don't want to do that. That's not safe. I know how to handle this. I know how to do things this way, but that I'm scared of. So I'm going to stop you. Is that making sense?
No, totally,
Yeah.
totally.
So when you recognize these kinds of constant patterns that you have over and over that you're repeating, that's usually an old energy that's stuck. And when you tune into, the little one inside, and you give them attention, and you help them to process whatever created that initial stuck pattern, you give them love and compassion. You witness their pain, you witness their confusion, you witness their, you know, their whatever the emotions that are that they're having related to this thing that's just been kind of fixed in your body, and you give them permission to let go of those patterns. You give them permission to um, disconnect. Disconnect's the wrong word, but you give them permission to heal,
Mm-hmm.
basically. You surround them with
Change
love
this
and
pattern.
compassion.
Change the
Mm-hmm.
pattern.
Yeah. So you allow them, through that compassion and through that witnessing, you give them permission to do something different. Let them know that it's safe. It's safe to, try to think of a clear example. Like, it's safe to take a risk and find a new job. It's safe to set boundaries for yourself, to protect yourself. things like that. I mean, the kind of the nuances of how many different ways this can show up are a lot, but letting them know that you can let go of those old patterns. I, as an adult, I'm good. I got this. I don't need you to protect me anymore. Let's give you a new job. Why don't you go out and play?
I love that. And also you use the word compassion, as Anna wrote here in the comments saying about the compassion in your chapter, how she felt this connection with her process. This is so important. We have this compassion with ourselves and said, it's okay. Like, I know what you're doing so far, and we totally get it. You're right doing this. And right now we are changing this. We're gonna try a different way
Mhm.
because we want a different results. How about that? Like, you invite your inner child to do something
Yeah.
different, and also but making sure they're holding their hands. Like, I'm
Hmm.
here with you. Let's
Yeah.
do it together.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, I'm here with you. You're not alone. I'm right beside you. You need something. I'm right here. Absolutely. Like that sense of being in partnership, even though it is like in partnership with you,
Yeah.
they are at the same time kind of a separate entity. So, um, but yeah, that partnership and the collaboration, it's like, okay, we're working together. Um, and we can do this together because the inner child, the stuck inner child often feels just so
No.
alone and isolated. I can't reach out to get the help that I need. So I'm on my own. I got to figure it out. And suddenly, like, nope, you're not alone. I'm here. I'm here with you.
Yeah, this it's important what is said about the parent part, that the child think that was their fault, so they will try to fix them. And here's the thing: there's nothing to be fixed, right? We are a work in progress. It's not something that, oh, you're, it's not about being fixed. It's about having this compassion and trying to do differently, acknowledge what happened, and that's okay because they're also doing the best they could, right? Even when our parents hurt us, they were doing the best they could. So it wasn't something that they wouldn't do with this. They also had their pains in their process with their parents. So I'm
Mm.
pretty sure that they gave us a lot that maybe they don't even received, right? So this is important to acknowledge as well.
Yeah. Yeah. And thank you, Jeanette. Um,
Oh,
that means,
yeah, just seems to cry.
yeah. Um, yeah, it's such powerful work. And when you can bring that connection, for me in my journey, it was so liberating and empowering to realize that I can, like, all the missteps and the things that didn't happen for me that I needed, or the things that happened that shut me down, or you know hurt me and wounded me in various ways, that I had the power to heal that within myself, and I could change those patterns, and I could just literally through connecting with myself through my heart and sending myself love and giving compassion to myself, was an amazing awareness.
Yeah.
And it definitely made tremendous change in my life because it just opened up so many possibilities. Um, it's a huge
It's
gift.
a huge gift. Put ourselves once again in our on, like, I am the main character of my life. I take responsibility of everything that have happened and what's coming next, and I'm living my best life.
Hmm. Yeah, I love that.
Thank you, Linda. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for sharing your story in the 25 Tool for Life and also your tools. I cannot wait to have the book in my hands because I love to have the physical. We know that on Amazon can get always the PDF, and I totally get it. But I am old school when it comes to books. I love
Yeah.
to have them, holding them. They are so precious. It's a gift from the Wellness Universe for everyone that has a chance to read these powerful stories. So Wednesday next time we're gonna be live here. We already have the launch of the book. Thank you for staying with us. Thank you for sharing your story. And yeah, 25 Tools for Life, Wednesday, 22nd January.
Exciting. Thank you so much, Claudia.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.